here so I can see what's going on in live chat. Beautiful people, I'm late. I know. I'm late. I did not mean to be late, but I be late. Tell me who you are and where you're watching from. We are going to do some chart ruler action today. So excited. I've been wanting to do this one for a while, so I'm glad that we're finally able to do it. Hello, Kelly. You inspired today's Bond Blast. I hope you noticed. Have you hugged yourself today? Even if you have, do it again because it feels good. I'm Bonnie Gillespie. Get that shadow side. And I am going to take us through your chart ruler, possibly the most important planet in your entire chart. And we're going to make sure that your chart ruler is doing things in a way that you need. More importantly, we're going to make sure that you're not pushing against what your chart ruler is meant to do in your life, in your chart, and so on. Hello, you read it. Okay, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hello, Carolina. So good to see you. Welcome, beautiful people. I did not put in the prep for today to make sure to bring your natal chart. And I think it's because now with my live streams, I'm just expecting that everybody's coming packing with with your natal chart. If not, go over to astro.com or your favorite app and render your chart in whole sign houses for the purpose of keeping things easy, especially if you're a beginner. If you are advanced and you like using different house systems, totally cool. Just know that I'm going to be teaching in whole signs because it makes it more straightforward to match the houses with the signs and them changing at the same time. And that makes it uniform for everybody, which is much easier for teaching. And also, it's the oldest house system, so let's use it. Hello, Kathy. So good to see you. Twinsies with chart ruler. Yay. Oh, that's so good. Yes, yes, yes. It's in my head. Yes, chart in head. I remember there was a time when I was having struggles with my sleep, and I was newly into, I think I'm going to bring more of my astrological upbringing as the daughter of a prominent astrologer into my real life business pursuits. And I was having trouble sleeping, and instead of counting sheep, I would turn chart wheels in my head and put things in different places and write horoscopes and talk about different relationships in the chart, and then I would eventually fall asleep. It was great. It was a great way for me to train myself. Are you enjoying Mercury retrograde, by the way? I sure am. I sure am. Dealing with Saturn. Yes, that's exactly why I gave you so much love in today's Bond Blast. If you have not read today's Bond Blast, or you're watching this some other time and you're like, what is even today? Go to bonniegillespie.com. I wrote a post called On Boundaries, which covers most of what was in the Bond Blast. But get on the Bond Blast. I would love to have you join my mailing list. I send out newsletters every once in a while. I used to have a very, very, very Saturn approved system of sending out things, and then it got a little less Saturn and more Uranus. It's like whenever the fuck I want to, I'm going to send it out. Yeah, but anyway, I have my drink. I have my elixir. Do you have good things? You love this story? I love all stories, and I'm grateful, Bond. Thank you. You're so, 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 so welcome. Absolutely my pleasure. All right, y'all. I'm going to share some screen. Following in your footsteps with my Substack. Good for you. Good for you. Consistency is so incredibly important. And as I am now not consistent with sending out newsletters, I am aware that I am putting that consistency into my YouTube channel. And thank you for visiting. Please subscribe. Hit the like button, the thumbs up, share, go watch my shorts. Join the playlist that is called podcast. I have a couple there. The consistency there is where I'm putting that Saturn energy right now. And I am like, how did I ever have a time when I would do a weekly column and a fortnightly column, and I would did 2 columns a week for a long time, and the fortnightly column, and I would promote those in Bond Blasts and at MySpace and then eventually Facebook. And then I would always tweet and do little teasers and YouTube, and then eventually add Instagram into that. And I was like, oh my God, no wonder I was exhausted. No wonder I was exhausted. Hello, Melissa. So good to see you. Okay, good. I'm glad y'all enjoyed the Water Saturn. I'm so glad you enjoyed the Water Saturn story. I could not believe that I had that story saved in my someday write about this file. Y'all all have a save this to write about someday file, right? Like you have an idea and you go, no, not yet. It's not time to share this yet. And then you put it into a file. If you don't do that, do that. I am going to get to things. Let's get to things. And then I brought this out because it was perfect for the Water and Saturn story that is coming together in Kelly's life. And of course, we have conversations at our Discord. We also have conversations in our Live Your Chart membership, which I'm going to invite those of you who are not members to join us in Live Your Chart. And I have a discount code that I will be sharing as a part of today's time together. All right, I'm going to put on some fan. See if we can normalize the sound in this room, because I got the window open. When we got the window open, sometimes the city says hello, but it's not Manhattan. So this city says hello in a very different way. It's not technically a city. It's an unincorporated private town outside of Los Angeles, but in Los Angeles County. So we get to vote on some things, but not others. It's interesting. But anyway, beach living. Y'all, how are you enjoying Mercury retrograde? How are you enjoying what is left of it all? I've got slides. I've got the woo weather. I'm going to pop up my share screen and y'all can tell me if you are able to see the chart of the now. And then I'm going to share some slides. We are right now experiencing Venus getting ever closer to Jupiter in Cancer. I swoon, y'all. I swoon at this. We're going to get those benefics together. Going to get them feeling so good. Okay, of course, we're here in Leo season with Mercury still retrograding this way. We'll soon go direct and come back this way. We got that Mars in critical degree, 29 degrees Virgo. Gonna do some shit. Gonna make it count. Let's do it. Let's do it. And Moon in Capricorn. We just shifted into Moon in Capricorn before I started this live stream. And Moon in Capricorn needs a little extra love because Moon in Capricorn, not the happiest moon. Because, Moon says rest, nurture, go with your gut. Capricorn says, did you get your work done yet? Capricorn's been weaponized, though, by the patriarchy. It's not Capricorn's fault. It's some dude's fault. But, we'll get on that some other time. We also, of course, have retrograde season deeply in us at this point with Neptune retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Pluto retrograde, all these outers moving closer and closer to their borders. And, of course, Uranus will retrograde in a month, I think. And right now is in Gemini, moving inward to Gemini to give us a preview of what to expect for the next 7 years of Uranus in Gemini. It is going to be some kind of party, y'all. So let's take a look at your chart ruler. I did not mean to flip to the next slide so quickly. Let's get this in the frame. There we go. All right, this is you. You're cute. You're just this cute little star in your chart of all of these beloved little creatures and celestial beings. So wonderful. I decided in doing my slides, I'm going to start off explaining why you want to get your chart ruler in a good place. And the best way to do that is to show y'all some of the love that Chart Harmony has gotten, because it may seem like Chart Harmony is, I'm going to do a little color coding. I'm going to use my moons. I'm going to notice when the moon moves into a different sign. I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to the memes and the cute little things out there about different signs, different planets, and I'll be able to not fear Mercury retrograde. I get it. Bonnie's trying to get us to play a little more in our charts, get to know our big three, the driver of the life car, all those good things. But I wanted to actually show you some practical, no, you actually are problem solving when you are using Chart Harmony, and it works. But it's the kind of thing that works when you are consistent, Daddy Saturn, in your showing up for the work. And I can say this now that I'm on the other side of my Mars ruled year by perfection, which I endured. That is a technique that if you do not know annual perfection, it is an ancient traditional astrology timing technique, and I have a webinar about it called "You're Not the Boss of Me," and I yell it because the title of the webinar is in all caps. If you go to bonniegillespie.teachable.com/courses and find "You're Not the Boss of Me," that will tell you all about perfections. And I have been looking toward my Mars ruled year with trepidation for years, because the pattern that I was able to track is that every Mars ruled year I've been in the hospital getting emergency surgery, in and out of urgent care, or all of the above simultaneously, accidents. You know, Mars loves to cut a bitch, and I have not a great relationship with Mars in my natal chart. So doing chart harmony actually gave me my first Mars ruled year. Yes, my first Mars ruled year without having to go through all of that cut a bitch experience. I was able to get Mars in happy shape so that, yes, we could still cut a bitch, but that bitch did not have to be me, and it did not have to be the hospital, and it did not have to be all dramatic and painful. So yay for that. Chart harmony works, and I am not just the creator of chart harmony, I am my own client. So anyway, sharing a little bit of that, because of course at the end I'm going to ask you to come join us over at Live Your Chart, and it's a time when we do chart harmony together every month as we go through the Aligned Hustle calendar and set our colors and get clear on how the energy for the month ahead is going to serve us best for what our needs are. So, do you know your chart ruler? Put in the chat, please, what your chart ruler might be. If you think you know, share it. If you're not sure, we're going to go over that right quick. Y'all know I love to talk about driving your life car, and if that's new to you, go to bonniegillespie.com/life-car. I have a whole live stream embedded in that post, and also a quick little how-to written in that blog post, because I'm trying to get both video and written information together so that you don't have to rely on only one or t'other. But /and your chart ruler information is on this cute little slide right here, and notice the colors that we have around each of these bad boys, because those are the chart harmony colors in action. If you have Leo rising, and we're starting here because it is the center of this graphic. If you have Leo rising, and it's Leo season, I mean, come on, Leo, let's go. Leo is ruled by the sun, and Leo knows Leo is ruled by the sun. It is evident in the strut. If you're rising, that's your AC or your AS or your ASC, depending on what your app uses. Your ascendant is always going to be what we're looking for chart ruler. But /and I am also always looking at your sun and your moon, because the three of these go in your life car and are on this road trip that you experience your entire life. You've got your chart ruler, the planet that rules your rising sign, in the driver's seat, and then in the navigator seat, riding shotgun with the GPS, the map, the little directions that have been emailed over, the turn-by-turn map quest, you know, the Thomas Brothers guide, or maybe written on a gum wrapper, some sort of vague, like, rave. You're trying to find the place, but who knows what we're actually headed for. Directions depends on the sign. That right there is your sun. So your sun is the navigator of your life car. The sun knows where you're going. Your sun, whatever sign it's in, is setting the destination. Whether or not the driver of your life car actually pays attention to that and keeps you on that road remains to be seen. But we want to make sure that we are in good relationship in our car, because this life car is taking us on a road trip that lasts all life long. And if we are not enjoying the road trip, we all know what kind of hell that is. Like, imagine it's not just we're not getting along, but the car is super bumpy, the road is super bumpy, so the car needs, like, shocks. We're in bad way, and then also hitting potholes. We're hitting potholes. Could be hitting potholes. We're hitting potholes every little jolt along the way, and we're listening to the worst music that is possible for us. Like, what is the worst radio station for you in your life car, and you could have that blaring and absolutely contaminating the joy of your life's journey, because that's what you're doing with your life car. Finally, the backseat driver, that is going to be your moon, your natal moon, whatever sign that's in, is hanging out in the back seat going, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Or if they're not a fire sign, they are not kicking the back of the front seats asking, are we there yet? They're actually making sure everyone's needs are getting met. And technically the fire signs are making sure everybody's needs are getting met too, if they are the moon, that backseat driver. It's just they believe the needs are met by getting to the destination. And you know, I love me some fire signs. I do not have a lot of fire in my chart, so I definitely need some of that come on, get going energy that comes with the fire signs. And I do my chart harmony to bring that in. So I told you already that because we're in Leo season, if your if your ascendant, that's what's circled right here, if your ascendant is in Leo, that means you have Leo on the first house. You are, in fact, ruled by the sun, your chart ruler. Your life car is being driven by Leo, managed by the chart ruler that is the sun itself. Let's go to the moon from there, because we just finished Cancer season before that. And if your rising sign is Cancer, you are ruled by the moon. That means that you have a nervous little driver of the life car, probably not as interested as Leo is in being seen. Like Leo is going to take a route that says, let's be seen. The moon is going to take a route that is, are we safe? I'm a little grandma. Maybe I've got one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake, and we know people who drive like that, and you're just like, oh, this is not how to drive. But it might make the moon feel a little more comfortable if we're feeling everybody's feelings all the time, which Cancer rising would. There's sometimes a need to do a little stop and go simultaneously. We've just been talking about Daddy Saturn because, of course, Daddy Saturn featured in the Bond Blast. And Daddy Saturn is the ruler of both Capricorn and Aquarius. We're using traditional rulership for this because most of what I teach is along a traditional rulership and a traditional astrology bent, but I make room for the outers to be included, modern rulership to be included. So I'm going to allow it if that is the way you jam. And please know, it's not me allowing you to do it that makes it okay. You want to do it, you do it. That makes it okay. I'm just saying, I'm not going to correct you. I'm not going to say, I may say, let me give you an interpretation that comes from traditional astrology because it's got a stronger why behind it. But I am not going to tell you you can't use modern rulership. Certainly feel free. But you won't see me using it necessarily today. I'll mention a little bit about the outers because they are relevant in some ways. But I want to make sure that we're clear on this. We've got Aquarius and Capricorn, both ruled by Daddy Saturn. A Daddy Saturn ruled driver of a life car is going to be all about structure. We already talked before we even got really going on today's live stream about how Saturn loves structure. Saturn brings systems. Saturn is about decluttering. Saturn is about wearing black. Saturn is about let's cut away anything that is extraneous because all we actually need is blank, blank, blank. And actually 3 blanks is too many. Daddy Saturn said all we need is one thing, and that's to have a plan. And that plan then can include lots of things, especially if Aquarius is your rising sign because you have all those air sign ideas. Let's move this direction over here. We've got Venus as the ruler of both Taurus and Libra. So if your rising is Taurus or Libra, you are going to have a chart ruler that is Venus, therefore enjoying loveliness, wanting the trip to be scenic, really enjoying a ride and a drive that has lots of beauty to take in, wanting music that sounds good, not really being in a big hurry because Venus is not like in any kind of race ever. If you have a rising sign of Pisces or Sagittarius, you are ruled by Jupiter. Again, this is one where we're doing traditional rulership. So if you're like, no, my Pisces is ruled by Neptune, that's fine. But for the purpose of this teach, we're going to talk about Jupiter. And Jupiter says bigger, 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 more, 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 and let's add glitter. Jupiter can get so focused on expansion that it neglects other things that are kind of important. Jupiter is the drinking buddy that says, let's get another round when you're already falling down drunk from all the shots. Because Jupiter sees no limit to more. And that can cause a certain kind of problems for a life car that may have other occupants that are not at all interested in more. We have Mercury retrograde right now, as we talked about earlier. We have Gemini and Virgo, both ruled by Mercury. And Mercury as a chart ruler, as a driver of the life car that is Gemini or Virgo rising, that Mercury ruler is going to be very busy and going to have lots of thoughts about what needs to be done. Gemini is always going to be going, but where else could we be? I'm going to be curious about, can I take that route? Could I go this direction? How about, I know I said I was going to turn over here, but what if I turn that way instead? Because Mercury loves to create change. Same with Virgo, except Virgo as an earth sign has a plan. And so we've got a little bit of a difference in the Mercury rulership. It's not as broad a brush as it is with Jupiter, for example. And that's because with Mercury is always changing. Mercury is something different every time you engage with Mercury. And that's exactly the way they like it. With Mars as your chart ruler, this would be for my Aries and Scorpio risings. And I know I got some of y'all here today. Mars says, let's go, let's take action. Why are we parked? Mars is all about let's go, and take that action. And then a lot of things that we need to understand better will happen as we're taking action. Like, we can't figure it out parked, says Mars as a chart ruler / the ruler of rising signs, Aries and Scorpio. Okay, so let me come off slides for a moment to see how y'all doing on all that, because that was a lot, and I want to move on to the next slide, making sure that everybody is feeling what we're covering here. Yes, excellent. Right on. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, rethinking Saturn for myself. It's astounding. Idea file, yes. Way braver than I'm saying to folks. Yes, I believe that. I absolutely see you being brave, Kelly, and I really appreciate your trust. It means a lot. Loving your current Substack series, says Carolina about Melissa. Yes, agree. So good. Hi, Jackie. You made it. Good morning. Good morning. Yay. All right. Let's see. We got those chart rulers. We got a Mercury. We got a Mars with a face. Yeah. Mars, baby Mars, says Kelly. Kathy says Mars. Whoop. See, Mars gets a lot of love from some and a little bit of fear from others. I get it. I totally get it. Rave in the desert. Yes, right? Because the directions for that, like that journey, you've got a gum wrapper with like rhyming words, maybe. Like, maybe it's a haiku? Not sure, because some of it is written in glyph form. But this is where you're going. The navigator of your life car has a very big deal to do with how are you going to even think about where you're headed. That navigator, are they planners, or is your navigator more of a, I have this old gum wrapper and I think it tells me where we're trying to go? And that can be frustrating for certain drivers and for certain backseat drivers. For real. Sag ascendant, so Jupiter with Sun and Moon in Aries, Mars. That is a hot car VO. Good God. That is a big Jupiter, hot Mars car. Like, holy balls. That car is like bright red. And is it like a massive, like, Hummer booster truck? I don't know. There was something parked out here the last time I did a live stream that was so big. I was like, I don't even know what this truck is. It's so big. How do they make things like this? And why here in like Beverly Hills, Bel Air-ish, do the people who drive them all look really petite? Like, is that why they get such big cars, so they'll look petite? I think that might be it. But it's like they have to jump to get out of the driver's seat of these cars. I drive a soon-to-be 36-year-old Mazda Miata. Yes, on the 11th of August, the mighty Tic Tac turns 36. I don't understand big cars, and a big car is like anything bigger than a Volkswagen Bug, basically. All right, moon ruler. Whoop, whoop. Aquarius rising, Saturn, Pisces, Sun, Jupiter, Capricorn, Moon, Saturn. Holly, what? You listed everything. Yes, bitches, says Kelly. You have to go. You do. Those Mars ruled cars have to go. Yes, overheating, VO. Indeed. Taurus is my driver, says Terry. Yep, so that means Venus ruled, taking your time, enjoying the view. You want creature comforts. You know, things got to feel good. Like if that seat in a Venus ruled car is made of some kind of texture that's like itchy, no, that will not do. We will have to get seat covers. Hummer personality drives a Honda Civic. See, now that's if you have a big life car energy, but you drive an itty bitty car, you may wonder, like, oh, I'm not letting some of that express. I'm not saying you have to drive a car that matches your life car, but you could see the incongruency, and that can be interesting to play with. Mucho love for the Tic Tac, I know, because you had a baby Tic Tac too. Yes, Mars drives and the moon navigates with Venus in the backseat. What? Carolina. So we've got Mars saying, go, go, go. And the moon navigating saying, I'm only going to do it by intuition. And that intuition is changing rapidly. And then Venus in the back seat is like, as long as the playlist is good and I've got snacks and a good view, I'm cool. Yeah. Ooh, that energy. Yeah. Everyone in my car is in a good place. That said, the moon driving with the sun riding side seat, trying to pull at the wheel. Yeah, if you have a navigator that is trying to take the wheel, you're like, you ain't Jesus, don't take that wheel. You are my navigator. Stay in your lane. I know. And my moon and Taurus in the back seat can be interesting. Again, you've got another one of these Venus-ruled back seats. They're going to really be there for just enjoying the ride. And sometimes when you listen to your backseat driver, you can get a good indication of what might be completely necessary for your next turn. All right, this is great. Y'all are getting it. You're sharing with me. I appreciate it. You're sharing with each other, supporting one another. I love it. We're going to come back to the slides, and I'm going to give you a quickie, take a screen grab of this log line list of what your chart ruler vibe may feel like. And you'll see I put over here in a fainter font other vibes worth noting, because I don't want to not share about Uranus and Neptune and Pluto and Chiron and the nodes. So everybody's here. The sun always feels like a vitamin shot, because it is. The moon is how we get our needs met and how we feel safe. Mercury says, let's chat about it and never stop changing. Venus is all about magnetic love, money, and enoughness. I have a puppy at my feet as I am saying this. Hello. Do you want to come say hi? Or are you just being close? You can be close. Mars, the warrior, always ready to cut a bitch. Jupiter says, glitter for everyone, and then more, because there's never enough. Never enough glitter. Let's do more glitter, and more glitter. Daddy Saturn, all about systems and shoulds. Bye, Mala beads. So y'all don't get to see the puppy. I got a sweet kiss on my foot, and then puppy gone. And then the other vibes worth noting. Uranus says, where am I not free? And then let's shake that up. Neptune says, reply hazy, try again later. Neptune is the liar, the storyteller. For those not old enough to get my Gen X reference, that was the magic 8-ball, reply hazy, try again later. We all know the pain of needing to get information from the magic 8-ball and being told, reply hazy, try again later. Now, I need my answer now, please. Pluto, the Tower card, transforming everything. That is not an actual tarot correspondence. There are other correspondences between astrology and tarot cards. I use the Tower card as my symbol for Pluto because of how complete and burn it to the motherfucking ground the transformation energy is. Chiron is the wounded healer. We do not get to heal others until we heal ourselves, and Chiron says this is going to take a minute. And we've got the nodes, the north node being our destiny, and the south node being that karmic energy that is held over. Or as Samuel Reynolds likes to say, the north node is the non-dominant hand, and the south node is the dominant hand. The south node is the hand that we are used to writing with, so we fall into those rhythms fairly easily. And the north node is where we're trying to go, but we keep struggling when we write with the non-dominant hand. And of course, as a lefty, I love that metaphor a bunch. So, thinking about the vibe of your chart ruler, I want to also mention something that gets missed, and that is the speed at which you live your life based on your chart ruler. So the driver of your larf here your life cure, your life car. I really am mixing up my vowels today. I have menopause mouth today. Okay, good job. Your life car has a certain speed to it based on the planet that is that chart ruler, the ruler of your rising sign. And what you want to consider is your chart ruler is keeping time in a way that may or may not align with how fast you would like to see things happen. And so, of course, there's man time. There's this whole, like, we made up the time. We said a year is going to be, 365 days, except for that 1 year every 4 years when it's 366 days, because we couldn't be bothered to follow the lunar calendar, which would have just made everything line up perfectly with the 13 lunar cycles per year. But whatever. Sun dominant, moon, aren't you cute? It's a lot about the patriarchy also. But knowing that your chart ruler has its own cadence, its own pace, its own timeline will help you understand where you are cyclically. And the traditional rulers run like this. The moon changes signs every 2.5 days. Mercury changes signs every 3.5 weeks. Venus changes signs every 4 weeks. The sun, technically the sun doesn't change signs, it's the earth, but we call it sun sign astrology, changes a sign every 4.5 weeks. Those are our astrological, zodiacal imprints in terms of our sun seasons. The Mars definitely is every 2 months changing signs, because terrible twos, easy to remember. Jupiter spends a year in each sign, and Saturn spends 2.5 years in each sign. So the reason that we want to take a look at these timelines is because they can explain how peppy something is as a driver of your life car or as the chart ruler of your entire natal chart versus how slow it might be. For instance, I want to look at not just the number of days, weeks, months, years in a sign, but how long it takes to go around all 12. Because what I started noticing is the moon moving around all 12 signs every month works for me. I really get that. Like, that's the way like 28 days, moon goes from all of the signs, and I'm like, I get it. Every 2.5 days changing signs. I get what's happening with that. Well, and the moon is the navigator of my life car. So I'm like, no wonder that I really vibe with the moon. But my driver and my backseat driver both ruled by Venus. And Venus takes 18 months to get through all 12 signs. And I always have things on an 18-month cycle. I will start a project and it'll be 18 months before it's finally ready to come out. And I will think I want to go faster. I will have a plan to go faster. I will say it. I will announce it. I've got a book coming out. It's going to come out on this timeline. And God dang it, if it is not 18 months before it happens. And I'm like, why? And then I stop asking why. And I go, why are you pushing against your chart ruler? Your chart ruler says the gestation cycle for the projects you are working on in this life car are in fact gonna run 18 months. You're gonna need to let something take 18 months for it to feel like it's gone through all the signs. And so I have, before we get to this other cycles of note section, no, let me go ahead and say this real quick, because here I didn't do how long it takes to get through each sign except for a little range on Chiron. These are how long it takes to go through, Uranus, yes, this is, I mixed up doing how long it takes to get through signs, and then when it got to Chiron, I went ahead and gave you how many years to go all the way around, and nodes is how many years to go around. So pardon the fact that I mixed my methodology here with this, but I wanted to throw in the outer cycles so that they're not completely ignored. I like the completion of it all, but I'm going to give you some visuals that are even cooler. I didn't have time to put the visuals in my slides. Even better, I'm going to give you the source, the link, so that you can go and get them yourself and update them as needed, because who knows when you're watching this replay. So Uranus is 7 to 8 years in each sign, Neptune 13 to 14 years in each sign, Pluto 11 to 33 years in each sign. Come on. Chiron from 2 to 9 years per sign, and the nodes are 18 months in each sign. It takes 18 and a half years for it to go all the way around, 50 years for Chiron to go all the way around. Okay, so here is the AstroSeek link. I clicked a link and now I have Pinwheel of Death. Do you see Pinwheel of Death on my screen? You do. And of course it's going to open over here, and I want to move the tab to a new window, and now bring it in front of you. Y'all should be with me at AstroSeek, because I clicked AstroSeek from my slides. And let me give y'all this link in the chat. Planetary speeds are making sense to you. So right here, this is AstroSeek. A lot of ads. Try to ignore them. I mean, I'm sure you already do, but lots of ads, which, you know, when you got a website for astrology and you got a cajillion things that people coming to visit, you get some ads, get your money, it's fine. So how long does a planet stay in cycles? From 0 degree Aries to 0 degree Aries is what we are seeing here. So what I love is to just go right here to where we can generate it. And sure, let's go with Mars. Let's go with the tropical zodiac. Let's start in 2025 and let's display the dates. We don't have to. We could choose in this drop down to hide dates, but let's go ahead and give them up here. And here is our Mars. Make it a little smaller so we can get that whole header here. This is our Mars cycle that began May 1st of 2024 when we entered a new Mars and Aries cycle. So if Mars is your chart ruler and you've got Mars taking 2 years to go all the way around, remember I said Mars, terrible twos, takes 2 months in each sign, it takes 2 years to go all the way around, and it spends too long in retrograde. Y'all, we remember this from back in 2024 into 2025 when we had all of this Mars and Cancer retrograde shit show, right? We so had that. Okay, but so if you want to see your ruler, Mars, ruling your chart as well as your rising sign, as well as your life car, because you have Aries or Scorpio rising, you can use this map to help you understand how long it's going to take you to get some things done. You're always going to notice in your life, if you are Mars ruled, things taking 2 months, 2 years, having to go back over things while retrograde for twice as long. So that's a 4-month period that we've got because of the retrograde. It's going to spend twice as long in the signs as it did when it was not retrograde. And then again, going back to that 2-year cycle. So you're able to see how that works. And we're going to do this for all of our potential rulers. Let's start with, the moon does not have a graphic here because the moon is the moon, and the moon is very consistent. The moon does not retrograde. The moon spends 2.5 days in each sign and takes 28.5 days to go all the way around all of the signs. So just know that that's really easy to track, and you can join me on Use Your Moons to see how I map out the calendar using the moons. But let's look at if you are in a car driven by the sun, which means you have Leo rising, your cycle is going to look like this. It's so nice and symmetrical because no retrograde. If you have Leo rising, you're not really going to notice that big of a difference between your timeline and man's timeline because we follow a solar calendar, and that makes sense to a Leo rising or a sun-ruled life car. So you may be listening to this whole conversation going, I really don't understand why anybody feels different than the timekeeping that we all do using the actual calendar. Well, Leo, I know, Leo, all about you, but here it's important to note, not everybody uses the same clock as you. I know, most of the world looks like it does. But if I am Mercury ruled, meaning I have a rising of Gemini or Virgo, I'm actually going to move faster and revert backwards more than anybody else. Mercury retrogrades more than any other planet in our currently tracked system. So Mercury is retrograding at least 3 times a year. Sometimes it starts a 4th time or ends a 4th time at the beginning of the year, depending on the sign that it started in and how much it still has to do. But always at least 3 times a year, Mercury's going to retrograde. Well, what did I say about a life car driven, and a chart ruled by Mercury, driven by Gemini, driven by Virgo? You're going to go back and revise. You're going to be going in one direction and then say, oh, but maybe I want to go over there. Gemini, because curious. Virgo, because I have to be sure that I've checked everything. Virgo wants to make sure that list is complete. Gemini's curious, and curiosity is going to say, I got to check that out. But what about this? But what about this? Ooh, but did I miss anything? Let's double back. And so the energy of Mercury is going to be very fast moving through the signs, faster than sun sign astrology, but it is also going to go back and do revisions in a way that we don't do with that that sun ruled Leo rising chart ruler / life car. Got all that? Mercury is doing this little couple steps forward and then a step back, couple steps forward and then a step back, couple steps forward and then a step back. It's not your imagination. It's not your imagination. It is in fact how your Mercury chart ruler runs your life. So don't push against that. Use Mercury retrograde right now, those of you with Virgo and Gemini risings, to allow yourself to really lean into what it is that your chart ruler is always trying to do, which is look at all of the possibilities. Y'all heard me talk about Venus as a chart ruler. This is my chart ruler. It looks beautiful. It looks symmetrical. It looks like it's not doing anything all that different. And a lot of that is because it is very symmetrical and very pretty until it reaches a retrograde. And because it's an 18-month cycle to reach a retrograde, we actually have to go into the next cycle to see it do the thing that it do, which means you're going to take 18 months to get through something on a Venus cycle, but then you're going to go back into that retrograde and go, do I need to connect with everybody I've ever loved? Do I need to recheck every value I've ever had? Do I need to take a look at every source for money that has ever worked for me? Maybe there's more that I should explore back over here in the recesses of my memory. And doesn't it feel good to get lost in memory? Doesn't it feel good to go on a journey of, reminiscing? Oh, I love that so much. Can I make a playlist about all this? And it's like, Venus, we have work to do. Oh, if you have somebody in your life car trying to keep Venus doing some work when it's time to reflect and it's time to reminisce and it's time to play that playlist and get all moody, it's not going to go very well. That's important to note. All right, so let's go back to the current nowness of the cycle that we are working here for. Oh, I was in my 2025 cycle, so I actually did the right thing by moving forward in this one for Venus, but that's fine. You get the point with Venus. We don't have a retrograde every time around. We have it every other time. Mars, we've already covered. Let's take a look at Jupiter. Jupiter just recently entered a new cycle in Aries in 2022. And the cycle is a year per sign. And you can see that for some of these, it's like 0.8 of a year. And then for others, it's 1.08 of a year. And so it's not exactly a year. Retrograde is what ends up throwing that off, because Jupiter retrogrades for months at a time, which means Jupiter can be in a new sign and then retrograde out of that sign and then come back to that sign. And so those are going to be the ones that have a little extra time to them because of that back and forth. And so right now we have Jupiter in Cancer, and Jupiter will be in Cancer all year and not leaving. Will retrograde entirely in Cancer, not heading back into Gemini, not dipping into Leo before retrograding. And so that is a complete year in Cancer. But what this means is if Jupiter is your chart ruler, it may take you 12 years to notice a cycle. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You get the planet of More in charge of your car. You get the planet of More ruling your entire chart, but you can't see patterns until more than a decade has passed? Yes and no. Yes, for the big picture. Big picture, Jupiter likes big picture. But it's a year in each sign, and those are little patterns along the way. So you're able to say, while Jupiter is in this sign, Jupiter is going to bring me more around those things. And that's true for everybody, but especially for a Jupiter ruled car, it is going to be important for you to notice that you are devoted to a certain part of your chart based on where Jupiter is transiting. It's also important to notice how healthy is a specific planet, your chart ruler, in your natal chart. And I have a live stream that I did a few months ago about my sophisticated system of yays and boos, where you can track how healthy is your chart, or do you have chart privilege? And I'll put the link to that in the description of today's live stream. That's a good one to check out to find out, do you have a chart ruler that's even happy being in your chart? Some of us have chart rulers that are really not happy. They're in signs they don't like. They're in affliction. They are in aversion. They have things that count on those yays and boos lists, again, sophisticated system of yays and boos, that make them not so joyous in that space. But so for my Jupiter chart ruled folks, for my Jupiter chart ruled, life car ruled risings, meaning you have Sagittarius rising or Pisces rising, you got to be patient with time. Luckily, Pisces doesn't follow time. Pisces is like, time is an interesting concept, but I believe in infinity. And Sagittarius is so busy exploring and checking out the next thing and growing and getting into the next thing, what's the next level, that also time can get a little lost. So it's kind of okay. If, however, your chart ruler is Daddy Saturn, it takes a long time. We have just finished with Saturn moving into Aries very recently. We have just finished a cycle in Saturn that began in 1996. So I'm actually going to move this one forward to the one that technically began May 25th, 2025, when we moved Saturn into Aries for a preview that we're currently getting. As we are speaking right now, I guess I'm the one speaking. You may be talking to me. I don't know. Do you talk to me while I'm doing live streams? Are you like talking at me and having a conversation with me? I kind of imagine that we are. But you're on mute. I can't see you, but that's okay. I feel it. I feel it. I know you're here. The ingress of Saturn into Aries created a situation where we now have a whole new reset of Saturn. And if Daddy Saturn is the ruler of your life car, right now we're getting to feel what it is to have Saturn in Aries for the first time since 1996. That's the last time that Saturn entered Aries. And because right now Saturn is retrograde, Daddy Saturn's moving out of Aries and going to go finish some things up in Pisces on that previous wheel that I was showing you. And so we're going to still have business that needs to be tied up from that 1996 Saturn cycle. And then we will be officially fully into this Saturn cycle. But what does this have to do with you and your chart ruler if you have Capricorn or Aquarius rising? All right, if you have Capricorn or Aquarius rising, it's 27 and a half years before you can actually see a cycle. Specifically on this wheel, it's tracking 29.7 years, nearly 30 years, because of those early dips in and retrograde out. And then that'll happen again on the other side where we leave Pisces, but then come back into Pisces for retrograde at the end of the cycle, which is going to be in 2055, for fuck's sake. Okay, so y'all, if you have Daddy Saturn taking care of you and your life car because you have Capricorn or Aquarius rising, similar to what Jupiter does, you're going to want to take a look at those little changes of sign to sign for your timekeeper, because you could wait 30 years, 27 years, somewhere in that range to know what the patterns are, or you could actually do something that is sign based and say, I've got cycles that run about 2.5 years. And if you have been like, yeah, I actually do have cycles that run about 2.5 years, that's the experience you're having. And it goes with that slide that I gave you over here where you've got the 2.5 years of Saturn. And so keeping in mind that a 2.5 year pattern of being able to see something completed in Saturn management is going to be very helpful for you. But for each of these, in addition to these small sign by sign by sign shifts, we have entire cycles that are longer. So we have the moon, 2.5 days, but also 28 and a half days. We have Mercury, 3.5 weeks, but also a year. We have Venus, 4 weeks, but also 18 months. We have the sun, 4.5 weeks, but also a full year. We have Mars 2 months, but also 2 years. We have Jupiter 1 year, but also 12 years. We have Saturn 2.5 years, but also 27 to 30 years. Got all that? Are you with me? We're going to come off of this again and let me check your comments in the live chat to see how we're doing. Okay. The planetary speeds and gestations are wild. Good, Vio. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Good, good, good. Hey, Michelle, glad you made it. Glad you made it. Boop, boop. I first called it the ruling planet versus the sign. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I love it. Mars and retrograde. Yeah, that was far too long. The 2025 Mars retrograde in Cancer. You see why when Mars was my perfected ruler and was going to be in Cancer, his least favorite sign, while retrograde, I was like, I can't have Mars as my perfected ruler being that pissed without doing some chart harmony around it. But I did. Yes. Okay. Fuck, says Carolina. Carolina, do you not like your chart ruler taking so long and taking forever in that retrograde experience? He's a little cantankerous. That Mars is a little cantankerous. Yes. Your GD right, Virgo does, says Kelly. I know. You notice all the things. You are a healer with a checklist when you have all that Virgo. Virgo is saying, how can I keep an eye on this? And how can I be aware of everything that needs healing? Because that is my job, to heal all the things. And I need to know what all things need healing before I can heal all the things. Okay, my youngest son, Libra rising, so accurate. Yeah. I got so much kinder to myself when I realized, oh my God, every relationship in my life has lasted either 9 months or 18 months. I was like, holy shit, is that Venus? It is so Venus. And I was like, how can the longest relationship I've ever had in my life be only 18 months? Like, people go with people for years, and I can't do that. It's like usually 9 months, because I would go with somebody for a school year, and then I'd be like, okay, summer, I got a summer. I can't with you. I gotta check my options. Or it would be 18 months if I really had a commitment with somebody. Like, we moved in together, we were going to get married, I'm definitely going to be with you for 18 months. Because then I'm like, but by the time we're at 18 months, I'm like, I'm bored. I can't do this. I'm horrible. I have to leave you. Then when I went, oh, that's just Venus. That's just Venus. Then I found other ways to give Venus some entertainment in my relationship. And here I am with Keith now. When did we meet? 2001? We met in April of 2001. We've been together a minute. I know. Slow learner here, says Vio. No. Talking at you in your head. Talking at you in my head. Good. I'm glad. Thank you, Carolina. I'm glad we're having a conversation. 100%, says Melissa. Awesome. Yes. Love this perspective. Good. I'm so glad. Okay, good. That makes me happy. I'm going to go back over here, and we are going to go back to the slides with your chart harmony colors. Those of you who've been with me for a while know these colors well, but it's good to get a review. And for those of you who don't know the chart harmony colors, here they are. Blue, no people. This is when we want to refill the well, we want to nap, we want to reflect. I'm not just going to read my damn slide because y'all can do that. But in general, when we are doing blue, we are doing moon shit. So if you have Cancer rising, or if Cancer is in your life car, you want to consider doing more blue things, chart harmony wise, because that is going to help you balance out the needs that the moon has. The moon is really busy making sure everybody's needs are met, and the moon has to go dark sometimes, and she does it right before a new moon. You can be in that cycle as well, and it will help you immensely. And I believe that's true for everybody, because we all have moon shit, even if we don't have moon in our life car. But I'm biased because I have moon in my life car. So of course I feel that way. I'm very, very pro moon. Now, the next one I have on here, black, back to basics. I am wearing black right now because I knew I had the potential of making today way overwhelming. I know that with Jupiter touring my 10th house right now, I can make things last way long and get too in the weeds. So black, Daddy Saturn. If you have a chart ruler of Daddy Saturn, meaning you have rising of Capricorn or Aquarius, you're going to want to do some black shit, because the black shit is going to help you pull away all the extra. It's going to help you have limits, have boundaries. It's going to help you abstain. It's going to help you with structure that is so desperately needed in a life car, trying to do a road trip that lasts all life long. So this is also true if you have Daddy Saturn represented anywhere in your life car, but especially if it's your driver. You want to do some black chart harmony to honor that ruler. It is easy to do black chart harmony. It's easy to do any color. Wear the color, done. Seriously, it is that easy. But it's also grab a crystal that goes with that color. It's use scents or essential oils that go with that color. It is listen to music that goes on a playlist that goes with that color. I am right now working on finalizing a couple playlists that I'm going to make public soon, because I've been collecting things for like all the chart harmony playlist music, because music. Don't need to tell you the story about music in my life, not the point, Gillespie. Let's go to orange. Orange is both Sun and Mars. Now, for those of you who are like, no, Bonnie, Sun is gold and Mars is red, do not put them together and make orange. I'm going to put them together and make orange as long as patriarchy exists and dominates the way it does. We have dominant culture that brings together the hyper masculinized versions of Mars and Sun and says that Sun is the only way to be centered and successful, and Mars taking action is also the Sun. And it is this conflation of Mars and the Sun that I think is part of the reason we need so much planetary fucking healing right now. So until these are not conflated, I'm going to keep them conflated and represented as one in the chart harmony colors, because once we have balance, I will be able to separate them out and we will be in a more nuanced era of chart harmony. But for now, every time you're doing something Sun, you're also doing something Mars. Every time you're doing something Mars, you're also doing something Sun, because they are too related in our culture. So if you have a chart ruler of Leo, if you have the chart ruler of the Sun because your rising is Leo, the driver of your life car is Leo, or your chart ruler is Mars because your rising and driver of your life car is Aries or Scorpio, you are going to want to do orange things to keep your driver feeling groovy, to keep your chart ruler happy. That means we're initiating things, we're working out hard, we're singing out, we're being heard, we are going and getting pierced or tattooed, we're doing hot yoga. We're doing things that make us seen out in the spotlight. We are absolutely taking action. Those are all really good orange things. And if you're like, Bonnie, I already do too much of that, I need to turn that down. Cool. You can put the energy of something that you want to turn down. The same is true for if you have too much Saturn and you're like, everything gets shrunk in my life because Saturn takes away all the extra and I would like to invite a little extra. You can either go to the opposite, which for Saturn would be Jupiter, and for Mars and the Sun would be the Moon or Venus, and do some more over on that end to balance those out. Or you can create a container for, in this case, your orange chart harmony activities. I like to keep Mars contained, so I do the orange chart harmony with a crystal or with incense or with a candle. I do things that bring that heat into a single place. I have the Himalayan salt lamp back here to represent Mars and the Sun while I am talking with y'all, so that I don't get myself overheated. I've got a place for it to go. That is a really great way to contain energies that might be a little extra in your chart. And you'll know as I'm reading these off and sharing some of the what ifs with you, you'll be able to go, oh my God, that's me. And that'll help you know that you've got some chart harmony balancing to do. Luckily, it's easy and you don't have to spend money to do it. If you need my guidance, of course, I've got you. And again, I'm going to invite you to join Live Your Chart. I'm going to give you a discount to do so, because we would love to have you in our monthly meetings where we do all of this and you get in the hot seat, you get my attention, you get my time. We get a group working on all of this. It's so much fun. But you will know as we're going through each of these which one is you, and you'll be able to take care of yourself more just by representing the color. We're moving on to pink. This is the color that we go to for all things air. And so this is going to be stuff like, I've got a chart ruler of Venus. I've got a chart ruler of Mercury. Either of those are going to represent some pink here, because even though Virgo gets a little of the black because it is an earth sign, and that's a little bit of math that I have on a slide I didn't bring over to this presentation, but if you need to know these, I've got them covered in Chart Harmony 101. You just go to bonniegillespie.com/chart-harmony- and then the numbers 101. That will take you to a complete walkthrough of how we get the colors where they are, in case you're curious, because it's all there. But also in Use Your Moons, I do it every month. I in fact have a color code guide from that I can share as well. I will hold this up when I come off slides so that y'all can take a screen grab of it without having to run around finding other links and things. That's also so I don't have to find the link and put it in the description. Okay, but multitasking is for that energy of, I've got a, let's say, a Libra driver, I've got a Gemini driver, I've got an Aquarius driver. Yes, we want to look at these as options, all the pink stuff, multitasking. Absolutely. What is all that curiosity about? But another one for Venus is going to be our green. And this is especially if you have Taurus rising. If you have Taurus rising, you're going to go over to the green. It's all about money, honey. It's all about feeling good. It's all about going on a date, that love, money, enoughness of Venus, which means you could also do Libra rising with this one. And also I should put Virgo can go up with the black and Aquarius can go up with the black. This is where it gets a little complex. Again, I'll show you a slide on a piece of paper in a moment so that you'll be able to see how to choose each of those depending on what your needs are. But finally, purple, I don't have to get confusing with this one at all, because purple is for Jupiter. So this is Sagittarius rising, Pisces rising. You definitely want to do purple shit. And I love doing purple shit. I love doing purple shit, and not just because purple stuff is a part of a Gen X Sunny D commercial. It is in fact because it is magic. And just wearing purple, just having some glitter, putting glitter in your makeup, making sure that you've got glitter, in fact a purple glitter pen to write with. These are ways that you can invite more Jupiter in. And if you have a car ruled by Jupiter, you're going to want to make sure that it is well represented. And I will use this slide real quick to say, for quick chart harmony, it's just these steps. You want to pick a color to support. You want to pick a remedy, like I want to do a drink or some kind of food, or I want to do a workout, or I want to listen to music, or I want to use an essential oil, or I want to grab a crystal. Then you're going to do the damn thing. And you're going to remember it is always intention over precision. I know. Virgos, Capricorns, I'm talking to you. No one is coming around and grading your paper. No one is coming to check to make sure that you got it right. I will not be policing how you do this, so please do not get stuck in precision. Allow yourself to have the intention that this works, and it will. It's like the placebo effect in that way. And then repeat and ritualize as needed. In prep for my Mars-ruled year, I did a shit ton of Mars stuff to get me ready for my Mars-ruled year by perfection. And then when I got to my Mars-ruled year, I was like, I got this. I've got the muscle for this. I know how to keep Mars happy. I have repeated and ritualized this to the extent that I do not have to stress about how it is going. And whew, did that help a great deal. Okay, so here's the secret chart harmony shortcut. Notice where you're already doing chart harmony and then label it. So you're already doing chart harmony with the color you wear, the scents you wear, the glitter you put in your eyeshadow, the nail polish you use, the pens that you write with, the music that you listen to, the workouts that you do. You are already doing chart harmony, and labeling it as such will be incredibly helpful. I have a link here that I am going to copy and I'm going to put in the chat for y'all, because as silly as this link is, nope, that is not the link I wanted. It did not copy. Douche. Okay, I'm gonna click and go to the ugliest 1990s directory of a website ever. You'll see when you get there. It will remind you of seriously mid-1990s websites. And I want you to go there to get any of these cards that you would like. These bingo cards, these collections of things that you can do to honor each of these chart rulers or colors. And I've come at them different ways. Here with these blue cards, I've got it by planet and by sign and by numerology. And then with these taller cards, we are using Chart Harmony by color only. Those are little bingo cards that you can use. And seriously, laugh at that link. I want you to. I really, really want you to. Okay, as promised, I would love for you to come over to Live Your Chart. We have a fabulous membership. You are, as a member, able to come to our monthly Zooms. You're able to look at the replays, obviously, get in the hot seat for some Q&A. The Aligned Hustle calendar is included. There is a massive library of stuff that you get access to as soon as you join, which includes health astrology, and I don't want to call it medical astrology, but it's health and wellness astrology. We've got compatibility astrology. We've got, of course, the sophisticated system of yays and boos and how to know where you are with all of that. We have a private section of our Discord. So if you're like, I'm already at the Discord, I get it, I like it, it's fine. We have a whole other private section of Discord for members where we are way active about the woo weather and what's happening and why is this feeling this kind of way. And please let me know. I would like to find out what's happening. And you get discounted services with me because you are a member. So here are the discounts. If you go to liveyourchart.com between now and September 30th of 2025 and put in the code ECLIPSE, all caps, the word eclipse, you will be able to lock in legacy pricing, which I have changed our pricing to include the legacy pricing from where we were years ago because wild times. And I want to make sure that you have the ability to lock in that lowest price that we will ever offer at Live Your Chart. And if you're watching this replay after Eclipse Season 2025, first try that word because I may forget to turn off the link. I'm just totally telling you I might extend the deadline on it even though it's called Eclipse. But you can always use the code webinar and you will get your first month for a reduced amount. And that may change based on when you're seeing this, but it makes the first month that you're trying it hopefully so affordable that it's like, yeah, let's go check it out. And then if you're like, yeah, but I didn't like it, I don't want to stay, cool, it didn't cost you too much. So remember that Chart Harmony can simply be a feeling of feeling a need, like something is pinging me, I need something. And this goes back to the conversation we were having with Kelly and that the bond blast ended up being about in so many ways. Why is this showing up? Why does this pattern keep happening? And it's because there's a planet in your chart that is asking for your attention. And it will whisper to try and get your attention until you don't pay attention to it to the point that it has to scream. And if it is something like Mars, its scream takes the shape of fire or a knife or an emergency or an accident. So please listen to your body, listen to yourself, listen to your guides, listen to your ancestors, listen to your gut when it is giving you a ping, because that is probably a planet saying, hey, I can actually help you with this, but I just need you to give me a little attention to show me that you've got that connection open. Because when that connection is open with that planet can then help you with everything that planet rules. And we need all of them. We need all of them, all of them, all of them. Thank you very much for enjoying my TED Talk and my presentation. And now I'm going to show you something on my screen that you will want to take a screen grab of. This is the Chart Harmony color code. This is how we get to the colors. So we have got blue, black, orange, pink, green, and purple. And we've got the signs and the planets that get us there. We've got the numbers and numerology that get us there. And then we also have the phases of the moon that get us there. Take a screen grab. Got all that? Got all that? Okay. I share that during our amazing, wonderful, awesome Use Your Moons every month. Okay. Final chance for questions. Last call. We went over an hour. The bells are ringing at the church. That means it is 11 after. Okay. Okay. That's all right. That's all right. My team is amazing at cutting shorts out of this, and I will come back and edit the description to include TIMECODE because I know I talked about a bunch of things. Okay. All right. So excited to learn how to use my new obsidian pendulum. Second Saturn return. Here I come. Right? Hey, Danielle. So glad you could make it. Yep. Well, good. We're going to learn how to do our second Saturn return by watching you, Kelly. All right. Keith already had his. Did not like. I did not like Keith's second Saturn return at all. Did not like. Did not like. I am very excited to see yours in a completely different sign, especially with the work that you've been doing to connect with your daddy Saturn. You are catching up, Danielle. Excellent. Your pendulum literally jumped out off the holder it was on, and you knew I needed to have it come home with you after that. Yep, that is absolutely the planet telling you, I am here for you. Will you please reach back and let me know that this connection goes both ways? Yes, right on. Love Obsidian and waiting for my Saturn retrograde. Yes, VO. Yes, yes, yes. Containing Mars and Sun and that heat. Yeah, I can get a little mad about, I don't know, white supremacy culture in general, late stage capitalism, the patriarchy, all of this. Yeah, I can. And then I remember it's just Mars and the Sun having been conflated in ways that neither of them asked for. Neither of them asked for that. We did that. We did that. Post in Chart Harmony Discord about your black obsidian. I just read your comment. Want to talk about it? Yes, crystals, crystals, crystals. They are watching. I know they are. Right. I know they are. They are. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, Virgo placements, y'all. You're so cute. You're so cute. Saturn is my chart ruler, and I'm on my second in a row of Saturn ruled years. Holly, the second Saturn ruled year is so much more fun than the first one, right? Oh my God. That Capricorn ruled year by perfection, that's a lot. Again, Capricorn is a sign that has been weaponized by the patriarchy. Both Capricorn and Scorpio have been turned into masculine signs, and they're not. Damn, patriarchy, fucking. But yes, that Aquarius one, so nice. So nice. Live Your Chart is amazing. I look forward to it every month. Kelly, so do I. And to be fair, we did have a 4-hour long Live Your Chart session in June. It's like we met on Jupiter's day after the sun after Jupiter moved into Cancer, where she is exalted, where Jupiter is exalted in her Cancer. They them pronouns for everyone. Jupiter came into Cancer where they are exalted, and we met on a Jupiter's day in June, and we met for 4+ hours. And I was like, oh my God, this is like the astrology podcast where they have 4-hour-long episodes. Oh my God. I look forward to it too, though. Yes. Wish I knew about you when I broke my tooth in 2020. Oh, VO. Yes. Saturn was saying hello. I got a broken tooth in 2016, and Daddy Saturn was saying, pay attention. It is time to no longer drink. It is time to abstain. It was also a 9-year, and in 9 years, we get to clear the clutter and get rid of what's not working. And I was like, got you, heard. Thank you, Daddy Saturn. Done. Saturn loves sobriety, by the way, but also rules hemp and THC. So go figure that out. Okay, Pisces rising, but my Jupiter is retrograde in Gemini, so could definitely use a little love. Excellent. Yes, knowing that your Jupiter is in a place where he's not all that happy, you want to give a lot of Jupiter love to your chart ruler. And so that means doing more purple stuff regularly. Yes, so glad. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I'm so glad. Saturn and Aries, yep. I need to contain Saturn. Holly, it is containable. And Saturn actually enjoys being contained. That is kind of his jam. The first was a lot. This one's been flowing a lot less bumpy. Yeah, that Aquarius ruled, that second Saturn perfection year is way more, let's experiment, let's try, let's take chances. It's got that Aquarius novelty energy. Oh my God, so much better. So much better. This is so interesting. Saturn overtaken by the patriarchy feels so true. I know. Indeed. You're also in a 9-year. So perfect. 9-year is so Saturn, and you are in a Saturn ruled year. You're getting it coming and going. It's like right now needs to be every minute that you are not doing something that feels more important, declutter. Open a drawer. What can you get rid of? Open a folder in your computer. What can you back up and then delete? Go into your social media. Whom can you unfollow? 9-year. Yes. Yes. Oh, good. I'm so glad that you enjoyed the text. I do offer text tips as well. I may be getting a little more frequent with my text tips coming soon. I keep trying to strike the balance between I want to share everything and I want to not bug you. But there's a lot of woo weather coming up that I'm going to want to share. So I might be a little more on the texting. And if you're like, I want to text with you, Bonnie, you can. You can. Let me get you a link for that. Because indeed, I got a link for that. Where that's my Blue Sky. That's my Instagram. Where's my text? Where's my text? There's a number for it. Text app. I'm searching my site. This is how it works. I search my own site, and then my site will give me where I put it. Text. Nope. Kelly, put my text number in here. I know you did it before. And I know you laughed. You laughed. Phrase not found. I'll come back. I will put it in the description for fuck's sake. Oh, I think I have it. 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 Here it is. Sign up for text messages. I do. Copy link. Let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. It does. my.community.com/Bonnie Gillespie. We can text. We can text. Just text me there. I'll hook you up. Give me your rising. Go, like I would put hashtag Libra rising. You would put hashtag something else rising or Libra rising if you roll like I do. And then I will customize things for your rising, or at least my goal is to do that. Okay. T-shirt celebration. W. Kamau Bell, my boyfriend, made these shirts during the hurricane in which asshat Cheeto went to Puerto Rico and threw paper towels. And so, yes, he's a racist. Me in 2017. Cheeto. All right. Run. Love you. Moving into second Saturn year. Whoop, whoop. Celebrate that. Celebrate that. No, you know what, Holly? The text tips were going to go away, and then I had to reach out to cancel because they no longer make it so that you can cancel from within your account. You have to talk to your person. And I was like, I know this person's job is not cancellations. This person's job is retention. This person is going to try and convince me to stay with them. And he did a good job. They ended up doing a whole profile on me. They put me up on their website. They put me up on their socials. I am now actually on a page with Pat Flynn. No, Gary Vaynerchuk. Same thing. One of the bro dudes of marketing. Gary Vaynerchuk and Kerry Washington and a professional football team and me. We are on this 6-image spread at their Instagram account for how I use my community account, specifically with astrology. And that helped get me some more followers. And they said that should help you get some more money. And then you can afford to stay with us. And please don't cancel because you have one of our earliest accounts, which means you have legacy access to things that people who come in paying more than you do not have access to. You do not want to lose this account. And they made a good point. And so good job, retention, dude. You retained me. So for now, the texts are still happening. Excellent. My Jupiter ruler says, share everything with me. Okay. Extension special. Yes, that's right. That's right. Indeed. Good. I'm glad you love them. Okay. Love y'all. Love y'all. Take good care. Remember to be good to yourselves. I will come back around and answer any questions that were left in comments. This live stream was delightful. I hope y'all enjoyed it as well. Check bonniegillespie.com/events. I have updated my events calendar through the end of October, so you can mark things up. Hello, Mala Beads. Mala, will you say hello to the people? Mala, go to your spot. Mala, go to your spot. Go to your spot. Go to your spot. He says, but I'm tired. Okay, do you want to pick up? Do you want to pick up? You want Mom to pick up? You want to pick up? Go to your spot. Go to your spot. Go to that spot. Go to that spot. Go. Mala, go to your spot. Hop up. Go to your spot. He says, you have no toy for me to chase? Oh, Mala, I do, but my bones are creaky. I've been sitting too long. You're so sweet. You're going to show me belly. You're gonna show me belly. Yes, you are. Oh my gosh, I've got a belly showing puppy. Y'all, I can't with this. Come on. He's being little. He's being little. All right, y'all. Be good. I know. You're ready to get down. You do not understand internet, but you are so loved. All right, y'all. We're going to go play. Mwah. Take care.